Well, hello everybody. Just wanted to give you a quick update of Church on the Rock and some of the cool things that are happening here for the week. This week we're breaking attendance record, which is really, really great. The altar was full of people giving their lives to Jesus and making Him Lord over their lives. And also we saw a lot of people getting healed. It was a really great time of ministry. I also got the opportunity to preach on the fact that Jesus is Lord. And that in the very beginning of ministry, it says in Matthew 1, verses 21 through 22, that Jesus taught with authority. And that means that He didn't just talk about demons being cast out. He actually cast the demons out. He didn't just talk about people getting healed. He actually healed people. He didn't just talk about building His church. Guess what Jesus did? He built His church. And I believe that it should be the same way with us as Christians. We have Jesus Christ in our hearts, and He should be Lord of our lives. So we shouldn't just talk about going to church. We should go to church. We shouldn't just talk about walking in victory. We should walk in victory. We shouldn't just talk about living in holiness. We should live in holiness. So anyway, it was really, really cool. Now this week, I know I promised last week that we'd be talking about confrontation. We'd be talking about relationships and how to handle relationships when things aren't so good, because it's not if that'll happen, but a question of when that will happen. And I woke up Sunday morning and God shot me a curveball and said to do something different. So I did it. But anyway, this Sunday, Lord willing, we're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about how to confront things when maybe they're not so good. Psychologists say that we do one of three things. We either fight, we either flight, or we fright. So when people fight, they might not play by the rules, and that's not a good thing. Fighting is not good. We believe sometimes that an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? Well, that's really not what the Bible says or what Jesus said. Sometimes people get on MySpace, Facebook, shoot out nasty emails, make phone calls to other people, gossip, or do unhealthy things to really hurt people in their relationships when they are fighting. The Bible says not to do that. And then another thing that people do is they flight. That means they run away. Maybe they're at Walmart or in a restaurant and they see that friend that they used to have, but they're really uncomfortable and they're not really sure what to say because things aren't quite right. Well, that's no way to live. We don't want to have to walk up and down the street and say, oh my gosh, I really can't see that person because something isn't quite right. Or fright. Some people are just afraid. And when we're afraid, we don't do anything. I remember I played paintball one day with some friends, and I got stuck behind a tree in a corner, and all I could hear were the sounds of paintballs moving through the trees. Oh, it was scary. And eventually I got hit because I couldn't move. I was scared. When we're scared, we don't move. You know, the Bible says that there are patterns that God has given us that we can put into our lives. And when we put these patterns into our lives, they help us to walk in victory. And there's a pattern, a way to confront people when things aren't quite right in their lives. So come on out to Church on the Rock this Sunday, 119 East Railroad Street, 10:30 a.m. And I promise you, it'll be a good service. And you know what, Church on the Rock, you keep on doing what you're doing. Good things are coming your way. You keep on following the Bible and doing what Jesus says. Because you know what? Jesus is Lord.